It was one of those quiet Saturday afternoons when the house felt unusually still, the kind of quiet where you could actually hear the soft hum of the refrigerator and the distant chirping of birds outside. I had just finished vacuuming the living room and was now folding laundry in the master bedroom, surrounded by neat piles of warm clothes fresh from the dryer. My son Dylan was supposed to be in his room doing homework, or at least pretending to. At 16, he had a habit of disappearing into his own little world whenever I wasn't hovering. I didn't mind, as long as he stayed out of trouble. I was halfway through matching a pile of socks when I heard a knock on the bedroom door. I figured it was Dylan, probably asking about dinner or trying to talk me into ordering pizza again. "Come in," I called, still focused on a stubborn hoodie that refused to fold neatly. But what happened next caught me completely off guard. Dylan stepped into the room slowly, holding something behind his back. His face was serious, not mischievous like when he was up to his usual antics. I looked up, puzzled but curious. "What's going on?" I asked, brushing a few strands of hair from my face. He hesitated for a moment, then took a deep breath and revealed what he had been hiding. In his hands was a small, crumpled envelope with my name scribbled across the front in his handwriting. "I wrote this for you," he said quietly, extending it toward me. I blinked, surprised, suddenly aware of how tall he had grown. When had my little boy become this young man with a strong jawline and thoughtful eyes? I took the envelope, unsure of what to expect. "What is this?" I asked, already sliding my finger beneath the seal. "A letter," he said, looking a little embarrassed. "For everything you'll see." I pulled the note out and sat on the edge of the bed to read it. The handwriting was messy, but unmistakably his. As I read the first few lines, my heart tightened. "Mom, I know I don't say things like this often, but I want you to know that I notice everything you do. Folding our clothes, making dinner. Even when you're tired. Working extra shifts so I can play soccer or go on school trips. I don't say thank you enough. I guess I've been too busy being a teenager to realize how lucky I am. But I see you. And I love you." My eyes welled with tears before I could finish the next paragraph. I glanced up at him, but he quickly looked away, as if afraid to see me cry. I took a shaky breath and continued reading. "There was this moment last week when you thought I was asleep, but I wasn't. You were in the kitchen crying quietly. I didn't know what to do. I just lay there in bed, frozen. I should have gotten up. I should have hugged you. I'm sorry I didn't, but I want you to know that I'm here now. I see how hard you're trying. And I just wanted to give something back, even if it's just this letter." By the time I reached the bottom of the page, I couldn't hold back the tears. It wasn't just what he wrote, it was that he saw me. Really saw me. Not just as mom or a background character in his life, but as a woman trying her hardest to keep everything from falling apart. I don't even know what to say," I whispered, wiping my cheeks. "You don't have to say anything," he replied, stepping closer. "I just wanted you to know." I stood and wrapped my arms around him. He didn't pull away like he sometimes did when I tried to hug him in public. Instead, he held me, his chin resting gently on my shoulder. We stayed like that for a long, quiet moment, and in that stillness, years of exhaustion seemed to melt into something lighter. "I love you so much, Dylan," I murmured. "You have no idea how much this means to me." He nodded against my shoulder. "I do. I really do now." Later that evening, Dylan helped me finish folding the laundry, without me even asking. We laughed about socks that never seemed to match, and a t-shirt that had somehow shrunk 2 sizes in the dryer. He told me stories from school that he usually kept to himself, about his friends, his fears, even a girl he liked but didn't know how to talk to. It felt like a door had opened between us, one I hadn't even realized was locked. In the days that followed, nothing became magically perfect. He still left dishes in the sink, still groaned about homework, and still stayed up too late playing video games. But something had shifted. He checked in on me more often, sat with me while I cooked, even started folding his own clothes from time to time without being asked. Then, one night a few weeks later, I came home from work completely exhausted. The house was quiet again, and I braced myself for the usual chaos in the kitchen. But instead, I found the table set for 2, with real candles and spaghetti warming on the stove. "What's this?" I asked, stunned. Dylan peeked out from the hallway, wearing an apron over his hoodie.
"Dinner," he said.
"I followed a recipe from YouTube. Don't ask how it tastes yet." I laughed, walking over to hug him again. "You're full of surprises lately." He grinned. "I just figured it was my turn to fold the laundry." Metaphorically. We sat down and ate. And even though the pasta was a little overcooked and the sauce was definitely too salty, it was the best meal I'd had in months. As I looked across the table at my son, I realized that the most meaningful moments aren't always big or dramatic. Sometimes they're quiet, honest, tucked into the everyday routine. That day, when he walked into my room while I was folding laundry, I thought it was just another request or complaint. I never expected a letter. I never expected a deeper connection to grow from such a simple gesture. But he reminded me that love shows up in the small things, in notes written on crumpled paper, in folded socks, in oversalted spaghetti, and in those moments when you suddenly realize your child is growing into someone you're truly proud to know. And in that knowledge, I found a whole new strength to keep going.